All right, welcome back. Today we're diving into something really powerful, the idea that you can become the architect of your own energy. We're going to look at how to take one of our most fundamental forces and transform it from a source of distraction into a deep well of personal power. So let's get right into it. Okay, let's just start with this, because it's a pretty radical idea. I mean, how often are we taught that desire is something to be ashamed of, something we need to crush or control? But what if that's completely backwards? What if desire isn't the enemy at all, but the actual raw material for everything we want to achieve? And that right there, that's the whole game. This energy, this desire, it's going to be there no matter what. It's just part of being human. So the real question, the work of the architect, isn't about stopping it. It's about deciding, consciously, where you're going to direct that powerful flow. So let's get clear on what we're actually talking about here. On a biological level, yeah, it's the dopamine that gets you motivated. It's the hormones that give you vitality. It's that arousal in your nervous system that primes you for action. But psychologically, it's so much more. It's the fuel for deep focus, for creativity, for ambition. This isn't just some passing feeling. It's a core driver of who we are. Okay, so we've got all this energy, right? It's always there. So we face a choice. And pretty much everyone ends up going down one of three very different paths when dealing with it. Let's take a look at what they are. So here are three options. First, you've got suppression. This is where you just try to push it down, to block it. And what's the result? You just build up a ton of internal tension and anxiety. Then there's indulgence. You just let the energy go wherever it wants, whenever it wants. The problem is this just scatters your focus and leads to total depletion. But then there's the third path, alchemy. Instead of blocking it or wasting it, you learn to circulate it. You keep it inside your system and you transform it into real, usable strength. And that brings us to what inner alchemy really is. It's this incredible process of taking that raw, almost animal energy and consciously refining it. It's about turning instinct into pure intention. This is the moment you stop just reacting to your impulses and you start becoming the director of your life. So how do we actually do this? It sounds great, but what's the method? Well, there's a system for it, a literal blueprint for becoming the architect of your inner world. And this isn't just some fuzzy, abstract concept. It's a clear, structured way to build personal power. So this entire blueprint, it really stands on three core pillars. You can think of them as the code, the filter, and the balance of your new internal operating system. Let's break down each one. Pillar number one is what we're calling the NLP transmutation. NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, is basically a set of tools for recoding how you experience your own thoughts. So you can use it to take that feeling of desire, that impulsive Drang, that German word for a compulsive urge, and you literally reprogram it into Brandstoff, which is Dutch for fuel. You're not getting rid of the energy, you're changing its job. It becomes fuel for focus. Next up, pillar two, the interface. The best way to think about this is like a smart filter for your mind. It's like this mental membrane that protects you from all the external stuff that tries to hijack your attention and drain your energy. But it's a two-way street. It also allows you to project your own refined power outward, and that's what people experience as charisma or a strong presence. And finally, the third pillar, the coherent nexus. This is where it all locks in. Because look, power without balance, that's just chaos. The nexus is that sweet spot where your heart, your brain, and your nervous system are all in sync. This alignment creates incredible stability and allows you to operate from that calm, powerful state of flow we're all after. Okay, so that's the blueprint, the code, the filter, the balance. But what does this actually feel like in the real world? The change is huge. You're literally moving from a life of unconscious reaction to a life you've consciously designed. This chart just lays it out so clearly. Think about a simple trigger, like your phone buzzing. In the unconscious state, you just react. You grab it for that quick little dopamine shot. That energy is just wasted, and over the day, it leads to exhaustion. But in the architect state, your phone buzzes and you just observe it. Your interface, that mental filter kicks in. You choose not to react. That little bit of energy doesn't get wasted. It gets circulated back into your system through inner alchemy. The result isn't depletion. It's more focus, more creative power for what actually matters. And the benefits you feel day to day are amazing. We're talking about way less compulsive behavior, being able to focus for longer, and having the strength to actually hold your personal boundaries. In your relationships, you can connect with people on a much deeper level, without that desperate, urgent feeling. It all adds up to this quiet, solid confidence that comes from the inside out.
So, to really make this stick, let's boil this whole thing down to three simple, powerful laws. You can think of this as the new operating code for your mind. First up, the law of non-leakage. It's so simple. Just imagine you have a reservoir of energy inside you. Every single time you react compulsively, checking your phone, grabbing a snack you don't need, you're poking a tiny little hole in that reservoir. The first step to building real power is to start plugging those leaks.
Second is the law of transformation. And this one is huge. I mean, it's a fundamental law of physics, right? Energy can't be destroyed, it can only change form. The same is true for your personal energy. That incredibly potent vitality doesn't just have one use. You can consciously learn to reshape it, to transform it into intense mental sharpness or creative output. And the final law, the law of the nexus. This is absolutely critical. Having a lot of energy without that inner alignment, without coherence, that's just destructive. It's chaotic. But when you have power and coherence, when it's all aligned and balanced, that's what becomes magnetic. That's what draws people and opportunities to you without you even having to try. Ultimately, this entire idea, this whole blueprint, it all comes down to this one simple truth. The energy is already there. It's inside you right now. The raw material is a given. The only question, the only choice you have to make is whether you're going to let it leak away unconsciously or if you're going to step up, become the architect, and direct it. Because what is directed becomes power.